Some weeks life feels like a pile of scraps, everything a little out of place and nothing quite lining up the way it should. And maybe, like me, you have had a week where the cracks feel a little bit closer than the calm. But there's something quietly beautiful in that. Today I'm making takes from torn paper touched with gold, then pieced back together. It's inspired by Kintsugi, an old Japanese art form. When precious pottery breaks, it is repaired not to hide the damage, but to highlight it with gold. The cracks become part of the story. And when I'm in my craft room, even amidst chaos and things undone, I find myself drawn to that kind of truth and thinking. That we are not ruined by our breaks, but that we are actually made by them. So let's start. I tear this first tag on purpose, and even though I am the one doing it, there's a bit of discomfort. And I think maybe it's because it feels like what life does sometimes, like this sudden, sharp, without asking, plans unravel, people leave and things fall through. But then quietly we begin again with a little edge here, maybe a gold line there, and some days that's all we can do, begin again. In Kintsugi, the cracks are where the light enters, and I've noticed over the years, both in therapy and in life, that the places we try hardest to hide often hold the greatest beauty. Like gold here doesn't erase the break, it outlines it. It says this matters, it's broken and it still belongs. So what I'm trying here is highlighting the torn bit of this piece of paper. Here you can see that with this fine brush I am coloring the white bit of the print carefully with the golden paint so that it really becomes visible and becomes a beautiful piece. This part reminds me of something a client once said to me. She said, I didn't think I could come back together after everything that has happened. But I did, just differently. And so I glue the pieces down, carefully, slowly, and they don't fit the way they used to. But they still make something whole. And maybe that's the deeper craft that's happening here, not just pure paper gluing on paper, but a kind of quiet inner repair. And because when life is loud and messy and beyond fixing, sometimes this is all we can do. Hold space, touch the edges we care, and make something of the broken pieces. So I look at the pieces and I carefully try to piece them back together, see where the overlaps are and what kind of glue I need to attach them to each other nicely without trying to hide the cracks, like they are just part of it. And sometimes I need to wiggle around a little bit to get everything back together, and I'm using my bone folder to press it all down so to make sure the connection between the pieces is secured. It is such a metaphor for life, isn't it? These butterflies were cut out off camera, and now I will paint their edges in gold too, just like the tags they will land on. I find there's something poetic about that even the things we add carry a trace of what we have lived through. I like that. I chose butterflies for a reason. They are soft, yes, but they are also really strong. They move through darkness to become something entirely new. And maybe that's what this moment is. Not closure, not fixture, just the courage to transform. and I love that the gold is highlighting this. So I use my watercolor to gently go around the edges of each of the butterflies to make them nicely match to the tags. And here, each butterfly is gently lifted with little foam pads. I like to take my time with this part, peeling each tiny square, pressing it into place. There's something so grounding, I find, about the slowness of our crafting process. These aren't just embellishments. They are small decisions to rise, to give space, to create depth. Here, just these few millimeters higher, and suddenly the whole tag feels alive with this 3D effect. And I guess sometimes that's all we need too. Just a little lift. So just like something like a soft cushion between what's weighed us down and where we are headed next. And now I would like to add a little bit of gold ribbon, a little bit of softness and glitter, just catching a little bit of light. And these finishing touches, they might seem small, but I think they really matter. Not because they transform our craft or the tag, not because they make it perfect, but because they remind me to be present until the end. To notice the shimmer and glimmer, to notice the texture, and to be in the moment I am in. I know life isn't always easy or full of light, but here in this quiet space, we still get to make something beautiful. And as I work with my hands, I find my thoughts drifting, not in a heavy way, just little reflections coming to the surface. And I've been wondering, what feels fragile in me right now, and what part of me might need a little bit more tender love and care. And maybe you are noticing things too. If it feels right, you are so welcome to sit with these questions alongside me. So, what am I slowly learning to carry? And what's ready to be honored, just as it is? There is no pressure to answer this. This is just an invitation for gentle company and for a quiet moment with me. So here they are, 5 small reminders that broken things can still be beautiful. This isn't about crafting something flawless. It never really is. It's about crafting something true, something that holds a bit of who you are, your mess, your mending, your meaning. Each torn edge, each shimmer of gold, each lifted wing, it tells a story. Not a perfect one, but an honest one, I hope. And maybe that's enough. Maybe it's more than enough. If you stayed with me this far, thank you. Like truly, I mean it. I don't take it lightly. I hope this gave you more than a creative technique. I hope it gave you a little space to exhale, to remember something tender, or to feel just a little bit more connected to your own story. That's the kind of making that matters most to me. If this way of making, if this way of looking at things resonate with you, I'd love if you'd subscribe or share it with someone who might need it. Because in a world that often rushes past what's broken, maybe we are the ones who choose to care.